So yesterday, Simon thought his tractor was rolling off, and I said I didn't get it on camera. Well, I didn't, but the CCC TV did, so here it is. I made a video and put it on TikTok of that. Didn't think anything of it. Not been on TikTok since yesterday. Went on 112,000 views it's now had of that tractor and imprinting, so it's quite funny. Anyway, luckily Simon's got a sense of humour and he's laughed about it, hopefully. Well, according to his daughter, he has. So anyway, here's today. So I've been eating my breakfast, and this hound, with something hanging out of his mouth, has been eating underneath my chair. What have you done that for? What have you done that for? Naughty. Isn't that amazing? But that's even better. There's the drill, there's the combine, and this guy's a genius that made it. I'm gonna have to put a link to your Instagram underneath so people can see all the stuff you've made, and then also these as well. Cut out of steel with plasma. What is it, 3 mil? 2. Feels thick. It's just the detailer, isn't it? All the coulters. And the combine. And that's made for photograph of Chester. Yeah, so Fraser has driven all the way from Scotland to bring me this clock that he's made with the drill on and the combine, and then these cutouts. There's another one there, but that's got a capital A, and he realised he'd done it wrong. And then obviously the one at Chester. So if anyone wants anything like this making, check him out. It's Fraser Baxter on Instagram. He's on my Instagram. And then also FB Metalwork on Facebook. But look at the detail in that. Should get these made up. Should think I should get him to make me like a load of just smaller clocks for people's bedrooms with just a combine on or something. Would people be interested in that? Let me know anyway in the comments. Aren't they amazing though? And then that, we can use that as a stencil for like spray painting onto trailers and machinery and stuff. It's a bit windy, but we've had 13 mil of rain. We've got a flood already, which is amazing because it's been really dry for January. I'm just gonna get out the wind. So yeah, been dry January. Dry January, that's the thing, isn't it? Along with, what do they call it? Veganuary, whatever that is. And 30 mil of rain, not really properly rained for 3 weeks, and it's flooded already. Them pumps are just obviously completely knackered and not doing the right job. So I can't wait till we can get everything sorted to be able to put a deeper pond there that'll there forever, that we can maybe put fishing and make money out of, but then also build the land up around it so we don't lose wheat. I'm out the wind. It's Sunday, so let's talk about diversification again. I'm not going to get up on the roof. You've seen how windy it is. Done a risk assessment. Don't want to go up in the cherry pick and get blown off. Solar panels, inverters. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. We've got 5 inverters behind me here now. All the south-facing roofs have got solar panels on, just like this picture you're looking at now. So we put them up in 2015, which is now 7 years ago this July. And at the time, I think it cost 140,000 for 150, let me get this right, kilowatts of solar, with what at the time was going to be a 7-year payback on the amount of energy that we were using. Now, we use a lot more energy now because we put the biomass boiler in since, and we also had to pay, I think at the time they wanted 70,000 or something like that, or 57,000 to put a new connection in so that we had more power coming in, but we also meant we could send more power back out. Anyway, when they did the job, they hadn't done all what they said they were going to do. We managed to get 7,000 back, so it's around 50 grand. So the total project cost was 190,000 with a 7-year payback. We paid it off over 10 years, borrowed the money over 10 years. So we left with a little bit spare in case we had any breakdowns. And then after 10 years, we got another 10 years then of free sort of feed-in tariff payments and free export tariff. And then apparently the solar panels don't really work after 20 years, but hopefully they will. So the amount of energy that we're using now, we're obviously well paying for themselves. I mean, at the time then, I think we were paying about 11 pence top rate for electric. Now we're paying about 26 pence. So for every unit we produce, we're saving, not having to buy it at 26 pence. We get paid about I think it's about 6p for what we sell, which is a bit rubbish. Hopefully we can renegotiate that back up. I'm not just sure how that works. And then we get paid what we call a feed-in tariff. So everything we sell to everything we generate, the government pays a little bit towards. I think that's about 9p. They dropped it 86% sort of a few months after we put our solar in, and that's why a lot of people stopped doing it. But now energy prices have gone back up. It kind of starting to add up again. The problem is solar panels have now gone back up. So there's these 5 inverters. They run on what they call strings. So each one of these wires will be running sort of, I don't know, around 100 panels, mate. No, not 100 panels. Maybe 50 panels. And then they all come back. Oh, in fact, there's a plan of one here. So there's a plan of one of the 3 of the strings on what we call shed 2. So 1, 2, 3. So 3 strings. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. It's like 40 panels. So it must be about 20 strings for each row of panels. They've been brilliant, really. I think one inverter had to be modified or changed. And then we had to, what they call the G59 inverter had to be upgraded. So this is this thing in here. If something goes wrong inside this box, the electric shuts off straight away. And that is so that if the electric went off because a bird had struck a pylon or a car had crashed and knocked it over, and the electric people come to fix it, if you imagine, they can turn the power off at their fuses, but if the solar panels started running, it'd send the electric back in the opposite direction and give them a shock. So they have what they call a G59 inverter, which shuts down instantly if the power goes off and won't come back on until it's restored properly. And they have to shut off in so many milliseconds, and that's why it had to be upgraded, because something changed. Anyway, there was a little bit of a grant towards that, so we did that. I think it still cost us about 500 or 600 quid instead of like 3,000 quid. They've been working really well. They're probably getting a bit dirty, mainly due to all the pigeons. And I have got that little bulldozer, and we're going to try and put that squeegee on the front and do it in the rain. Problem, I don't think it's big enough. I could do with something a bit bigger. They are out there, but they look expensive, and I'm not just sure how much it is to hire one in. When you clean the solar panel, you're supposed to use distilled water. Pumping that up there is a bit difficult, so that's why if you do it in the rain, I think it'd be easier. Great investment. The original plan was they were going to pay for the shed that they were sat on, so it was a 140 foot by 100 foot shed. But the way it worked out, we needed the shed up before we got the permission for the solar panels, and they got on the system and got the electric upgrade. So the shed stands on its own 2 feet, and that's a different bit of diversification, which we'll talk about another weekend. But yeah, solar, attractive option. Coming back in now with the price of electric. Electric's probably only going to go one way. I thought electric use might come down with the invention of LED lights, but the problem invention of electric cars is meaning that use is still going back up. So if you're thinking about it, have a look at solar. One of the things when we're putting the solar panels on, I'm going to put the camera higher because it makes me look fat. One of the things when we're putting the solar panels on is we actually had to drill a roof that had only been put on a week. So they drill holes through the fibre cement roof into the purlins with these like long screws with thread and nuts on the top, but they have a washer in them that seals it just like a normal roofing screw. And the panels sit on aluminium rails on the top, and then they clip into that and bolt down. So that was one of the things that was like making us think, oh my God, it's a new roof and we're drilling holes in it, but it works and they've not leaked, so happy days. Another good thing about solar is free fuel. This is it. Project stable barn rebuild that fell down to retain the footprint. Now all finished, looking quite tidy. The doors are all done, gutters are all on. The only problem is there's no proper drain, so we need to sort of concrete that so when the water falls there it goes somewhere else. Sorry, it's a bit windy. The brickwork's fading in quite nicely now, apart from the last bit that we did sort of last week. It's not started to fade yet. Just looking at that wheat, I mean, considering we've only had 13.5 mil, that looks pretty wet as well. This is after beans. Looks pretty good other than the 12 metre tram lines. A few volunteer beans there that will knock out in a few weeks as well. Just in case anyone's missed the tractors today, because we've not really seen any, here's some tractors for you. Pair of fendt and a fast track. More tractors. Birthday bumper now. So this is the birthday bumper on the pavement. It's now hailstoning. You'll have to read them yourself because some of the names I cannot pronounce. So happy birthday to all you guys. Can't remember if I ever showed you this, so maybe you can let me know if I have. But do you know what the name of it is called and how it works? I keep thinking of making one out of steel in a workshop because I think it looked pretty cool. So rather than wire ropes, you could use chains. just looks like it's floating, but it's got a special name. Anyway, let me know what it is if you think you know what it is. Let me know where you're watching from if you're new. Loads of new subscribers. I think it's because they've watched Tom's video of the show and then they've come over to here. So that's great. If you're a new subscriber, tell me where you're watching from. Thanks everyone that's watching today. I will see you all tomorrow. And here's a guest outro been sent on Instagram. So see you tomorrow. Also, it'd be great if you could click like on the video.